the more I've let go of these things that I was telling myself were all that I was, the softer I've become, the lighter I've become, the more me I've become. And it's about taking off those clothes, not putting new ones on. Kia ora, beautifuls.
Hey guys, how's it going today?
We've come down here to Lake Tikitapu, the Blue Lake in Rotorua, and it's a lovely winter sunshiny day, and we've just been walking and talking and enjoying each other's company and each other's perspectives on all sorts, as we do between Tony and I. And something we've been thinking about this week actually is how many versions of ourselves we have been to get to where we are, and how many versions of ourselves we will evolve into, and how in that process many of the people that we once were at a point in our lives have had to pass away, and how at times we've grieved them and other people have grieved those people that we were, and how other people may still be holding on to versions of us in their own heads and minds that are nothing to do with who we are now, because we have shed our skins like a cicada or a snake, or we've shed so many of those identities in our growth processes that we are completely new, and we will be completely new again and again and again and again.
Yep, that's definitely true. Yeah, it's about changing and growing and evolving. Like, I remember when I was young and then I became a teenager, and I'm way different now. You know, back then I was into rugby and drinking and going out and all that, and a lot of my beliefs came from my upbringing, a lot of my beliefs from my dad's beliefs, and you know, as I got older than that, I realized that a lot of the ways I was doing life was wrong. So I had to change and grow. And, you know, I'm way different now. And the old version of me was something that I had to let go of. And it was all mixed in with drinking and partying and all that. And today I don't do no drinking, no partying. And I'm more the real me now. And I look back at it and in the past, and I look at the young version of me, and I go, well, yep, he was a good dude, but he was just learning life. And today, I'm more onto it, and I make better decisions, and you know, it's cool letting go old versions of me, you know, and I'm really glad I did. And today, I'm more evolved, and it makes me a better all round person. So I'm really grateful I'm on this journey.
I made a video one time, maybe a couple of years ago, called Get Soul Naked. And in that video, I was talking about something similar, but I was coming at it from a perspective of a lot of our understandings of ourselves and our ways of being in the world are built from other people's experiences and other people's expectations and pieces of our upbringing, and like Tony said, pieces of beliefs of those we grew up with and those we were hanging around at the time in our social circles and our internal belief circles that do not have to remain the same. And all of those things, we are not born into this world believing all of those things. Those are constructed. Those are constructs as creative beings. We are building all these stories and all of these ideas around who we are from how we're acting in the world at the time. And when you start dramatically changing your life and doing dramatic personal development and dramatic acts of pulling yourself up from wherever you've been, then you will start removing those layers and removing those layers and removing those layers, and that can be a very hard process. I've had so many times of grief because I felt like I was losing a large part of who I really prized myself as, especially this massive rock identity and hard woman, and the more I've let go of these things that I was telling myself were all that I was, the softer I've become, the lighter I've become, the more me I've become. And it's about taking off those clothes, not putting new ones on.
Yep, that's right. You know, what Karen was just saying, just reminded me, like, well, it was mentioned earlier about my dad. And my dad was a hard guy, you know, he never showed emotion. He would, never tell you how he felt or share how his heart was feeling. And, I used to model myself up to that. But then when I became a parent, I didn't want to be like that. I wanted to share from the heart with my kids, my sons, and to be vulnerable and to be real and
Mm,
actually tell them how I really felt about certain things in life. So I'm really glad I decided to do that. And it's, for me, it's the best way to be vulnerable and share from the heart and be gentle and soft when you need to be. You know,
beautiful.
it's about being the best version of yourself.
Be the best
Mm,
version and show up however you decide you are
mm,
um, real in the
mm.
world. And that can change from moment to moment.